Now, the world is what it is today largely due to the actions of innovators and entrepreneurs. From the tech to automobiles, telecommunications to broadcasting, finance and marketing, fashion and textile, food and beverages, these industries and employers are providing millions of jobs, thereby contributing to the growth and development of their nations. In Sierra Leone, there's this wave and dispensation of innovation and entrepreneurship. Businesses and organizations are hosting pitch nights and providing startups for some of the smartest ideas. Equally so, other entrepreneurs like AYV's Anthony Navel Jr. is setting up conglomerates like AYV Media Empire, VSL, Fabulous Resort. The list is elaborate. Therefore, today we ponder on what should be the role of innovation and entrepreneurship in driving growth and economic development in Sierra Leone. My name is John Conte, and this is AYV on Sunday. Good evening and welcome back to AYV on Sunday. Today we're delving into the role of innovation and entrepreneurship in driving economic growth and development. You can follow us on DSTV channel 399, radio 101.7 FM, our AYV News Facebook page, and other social media platforms. Sending your thoughts and comments. Find time to go through them later in the program. Here with me, I have a star-studded panel to help me unpack this 2-hour-long discussion. I have Aminata Dumbuya-Jah, hold on, CEO of Freetown Waste Transformers and BSI. Aminata Dumbuya-Jah is an energy access practitioner and a social entrepreneur, passionate about passionate about accelerating energy access through waste transformation and other renewable energy sources. She is the CEO and founder of Freetown Waste Transformers, an integrated waste management company embarking on digitizing the waste management sector and converting organic waste to energy. She's also the CEO and founder of Business Services International, providing shared workspace and virtual offices in Freetown. Now, for over a decade, she repatriated to Sierra Leone from California in 2004 and has steadfastly worked in the private sector to contribute to national development. Ladies and gentlemen, viewers all across the globe, please welcome Aminata Dumbuya-Jah. Thank you very much for coming on AYV on Sunday today.
It is my absolute pleasure for being here.
All right. All right. Next to Aminata Dumbuya-Jah is Aissatou Harrison. She is CEO of Isilia Fashion and Creative Hub Africa. I know it's Oko. So what's happening? Aissatou Harrison is a fashion entrepreneur, CEO and founder of Isilia Fashion and Creative Hub Africa. Isilia is focused on showcasing Sierra Leone's rich culture, craftsmanship, and heritage, specializing in Gara and natural Thai fabric, while Creative Hub Africa aims to support aspiring entrepreneurs and creatives by providing them the necessary skills, resources, and a strong support system for success. Aissatou is proud to be among a growing crop of entrepreneurs who are creating employment opportunities and bringing economic growth to the continent, and the opening of the textile and garment factory, showroom, and creative hub in Sierra Leone is a testament to this. Ladies and gentlemen, Isilia, she's fondly known. Welcome to AYV on Sunday.
Thank you for having me.
All right. Next to Isilia is a man who is known as Doctorpreneur. That's how he's fondly called amongst his peers. By the way, let me mention, I know you're seeing me today with my Albert Academy necktie and my school badge. Yes, forgive me. Let me mention, that's the school I attended, secondary school. We're celebrating a 117th anniversary this week. Congratulations to all academicians. Now, let me introduce Dr. Wahid O. Awonoga. He's a medical doctor and CEO of Infinity Creative Media. Dr. Wahid is a multifaceted individual with a diverse background in medicine and entrepreneurship. He's known for his passion for both the healthcare field and creative endeavors. Dr. Wahid holds a Bachelor of Medicine and a Bachelor of Surgery degree, which he earned from the University of Sierra Leone. He is currently serving as a resident physician at the University of Sierra Leone Teaching Hospital Complex. He's successfully passed the West African College of Physician primary examination, demonstrating his dedication to advancing his medical career. His ultimate goal is to become a consultant family physician with a specialization in emergency medicine, highlighting his commitment to providing healthcare services, particularly in critical situations. I think he has 3 kids, right, Wahid? You have 3 boys, right?
Wonderful.
Dr. Wahid's entrepreneurial journey began during his time in medical school, where he showcased his business acumen alongside his medical colleagues. He initiated an entrepreneurial venture using the acronym WAHID, which stands for Winning and Highly Inspired Designs. This venture primarily focused on graphic designs and printing. His entry into photography was serendipitous, driven by a friend's request to assist him during his wedding. Now, despite limited knowledge of photography, he seized the opportunity, which ultimately led to the establishment of Infinity Studio. Driven by ambition and vision, he later entered into a partnership, resulting in the transformation of Infinity Studios into Zoom. Zoom Creative Media, among others. Now, under his leadership, Zoom Creative Media flourished, expanding from a single shop to a multi-office establishment. Infinity Creative Media, finally, in the studio. Ladies and gentlemen, forgive me. Let me go over that again. Please welcome Dr. Wahid Awonuga in the studio with me.
Thank you so very much. It's a pleasure to be here.
All right. Finally, in the studio, we have Suna Agnes Kylie. She is founder, School Grind. Suna Kylie is also and has over 15 years experience in business development and enterprising, social advocacy and volunteerism. She was winner of the African Innovation Prize 2013, Coach Grant awarded by Life by Design 2015. She's also an IVLP fellow. That was in 2017. By the way, I'm an IVLP fellow too, 2008. So Suna is a serial entrepreneur and business development consultant whose passion leads her to mostly work in the creative industries. She's the co-founder of Jele Gourmet, a poetry and creative arts platform for young people. She's also director of events coordination at Eminence Africa Events Company, a leading events management company in Sierra Leone. 3 years ago, she founded School Grind, an initiative that immerses young people between the ages of 13 and 25 in entrepreneurial activities. School Grind currently engages across schools and is a community active of young people. Entrepreneurs outside of a professional life, Suna is passionate about youth development and intends to establish the School Grind Center, a youth resource center to address the lack of incubation and acceleration and opportunities for young entrepreneurs to develop their business ideas or grow their existing entrepreneurial activities, as well as educate young people and the public on entrepreneurship. Ladies and gentlemen, Suna Kylie.
Hello, everyone. Thank you for having me, Joe.
All right. Well, I'll go on. This is AYB on Sunday. And today, like we mentioned, we talk about the role where innovation and entrepreneurship get for play inside growth and economic development. But let's start off with you guys. It's important for also the viewers now besides the background warongi, that's the value added, everything now fine, just put together. That's a profile, very nicely put, introducing you. But through the fires, a lot of people don't see that. Through the challenges that you've gone through. Let's start with you one by one, and let's talk about quickly on our different stories and to how we manage to get to Usauna Deso and the role they play as entrepreneurs. Let me start off with you, Suna, since you're not been the last person who I introduced.
Not fair.
Let's mix it, Creole and English.
Okay,
it's okay. I understand. I understand. It's okay. I understand. So we can have both Creole and English. Let's start off with you. Tell me a little bit more about not the profile, but a little bit more about yourself. How you started and how you get to Usaide today.
So for me, thank you. We can do Creole. For me, I grew up with people and we always involved in empowerment schemes. So my granny being one of the people that we bring YWCA na salon, cousin have been Bishop West. And also the one way actually we can call them the me now being one of the founders for Fawe. And then 2 years so na initiatives that we always been capacitate young people always they drive change in our communities them. And me now one living example of influence by your environment. I feel like all of that they come about because I've been immersed inside in different environments them during my childhood. And as I grow up, I begin pick up some of them things. And not because I was forced to, but because naturally it become a part of me. And so I probably can say as I be make soap or I can manage part tie-dye, small. No, I start to not employ me. I get all that thing where I can do just because I don't dare around the environments them. But as I grew up, one of the things that will really become striking are that I realized that quite a number of interventions when they go on now in different communities. And because me grew up in a tile. And always the angels then go come and then go do empowerment training. And my arguments go always be, if they come every time and they train all man for do tie-dye, all man for make soap, would I go buy to in company? Because at the end of the day, you get a huge community of people. And all man sabi make guy, all man sabi tie-dye.
Important point you're making there. That's the question I'm going to ask later on, because the thing about walking into a community and just designing program for train them in, it might not be what they need.
Yeah.
So let's jot that down. We'll come back to that because as on our role as entrepreneurs, you look at what is missing and what can I bring to the table or create for people, and we will attract them. Sooner, go on.
Okay. So as we go, I realized that there was something missing, and then I've been the element of entrepreneurship, monetizing this thing so we don't learn. It's not just enough for you learn how to do it, but waiting for really do it. So that was where I think I came in. And having just don't go this curiosity, I continue through school, and I've been very, very much love for go and do competitions. I feel like I just need for the word competition, and it go always pike me interest. And so I begin competing there, entrepreneurship competitions then school, college. They go through. I remember the first one, Nabi Edmond, no been winner, and I was very impressed. I'm like, Edmond win this year, so what's it about? And so when they put out the second year, when they put out the call, I remember I say, this is Nami the winner, and I went in for it, and that had in Adela Rube in the Onam. My first money that time, I mean 13 million. That was quite a large sum then and day. And one of the things that we then do, now been for pair me up with a mentor. And
what's
the mentor,
the idea we been submit that?
The idea, and I've been like for work with me, Anne. So they take this raffia bag them and they turn them into actual fashionable raffia things them. Because for me, I always remember say if I take paint and just splash under, waiting will happen. If I take this thing that I use for them, remove them from the formula, waiting will happen. So I started experimenting a lot with that. And so it goes through quite a number of people there, and eventually I won that. And I come back and they say, this not the thing them. When they give me this mentor, so when I be included, Ayebo, that was my first time meeting her. And then I remember she used to do the smile juice. And so I was very ecstatic, I don't meet this person. And I feel like she's one of the first people who really introduced me to this whole concept of how you can able to go forward just by having a mentor. And I remember she would have me at her house. I can for laugh and say, I think she has some Ghanaian connection, but I remember she would cook fufu. And I think I looked forward more to the fufu than but it was just being in her presence. They watch them, they go about, they writing proposals, they're doing bottling. I think a lot of that kind of impressed on me the need for you get a defined pathway for young entrepreneurs. And so I kept on that same journey, continue for go. Again, had a quite number of competitions going around. I applied and I would win for them. And so along the way, one of me pitched them. I did a pitch Usai Joabas not been there, but he was implementing that particular project today. And I remember receiving a call from a number one day, and I think he watched all the pitch videos. Then he's like, "Are you Suna?" He's like, "Yes. Can you come to my office? I'd love to meet you. I watch your pitch video, and I feel like someone I'd really want to mentor and nurture along her journey." So that was how my entrepreneurial journey became very formalized. Most of we young entrepreneurs then accept that we owe a large part of our journey to the influence where Joabas play. He had the life by design thing going on. And so just being near him, being immersed in his activities, working very close with him. And influenced me a lot. And so it has grown, it has become a part of me. At that stage, they would say, they always need a defined pathway to be able to succeed. You know, the student 19 times, you get it right one time. It's easier if you get, even with a different way to fail. Then it's so much easier when they talk about how we not go lost resources, when they talk about how we go build collaborations. But then it has to start somewhere. And when to make me decide for do that age gap, the 13 to, initially it was 13 to 18, but go on to 25. Now, because I realized that whenever we they talk about the economy or they talk about the ecosystems or talk about development in a salon, it seemed like say they forget that age gap. That age gap, they just say for go school come. Then they forget say that how they can call it. It has to start young. You know the way to take us in the reach college for you begin tell and say learn basics of how to be resilient, learn basics of bookkeeping. You get quite to create with how we elect for speaker and the enabling environment. So they get to relate to why we decided, my team and I decided to come forward with the school grind.
Suna, quite an interesting part about that. Well, I go to Dr. Wahid Mawonuga. I mean, a lot of people really even know say you're a medical doctor. The only thing you know say you can do, you day behind the camera. Yeah. You creative with putting photos together, putting videos, documenting events. Yeah. That is what you are known for. Tell us a little bit more about who Dr. Wahid is. How you start? Because I see, Wahid for the first time. I see you post that. I'm like, who's how this been there? I mean, how we start, how we ends, what he do with But so let's hear from you and let me hear more about that.
Okay. Majority of the things I don't do in my life or achieve or anything we had a plan for do, I can always build them around my mom. You know, people then way they very close to me. They know how I speak glowingly about my mom all the time. And this is one of the things we really don't frame my narrative about life, my narrative about moving forward, my narrative about changing the economy of major African countries is all about, developing the woman in the home. Because I realized that my mom had a very important influence in my life while growing up. Those little things you can tell we would learn, because my mom is she's a great businesswoman anyway. In fact, my mama built a house before my dad did. Yeah. But my dad being the man, that time we for move when we quit notice now we owe. He decided not to move because he's a man. We'll go live with a woman. That kind of thing. So those are things that I've known about my mom for quite a long time. And most of the time we'll come up from school. Once we're done, we're always with her in the shop. And she taught us those rudiments of business. Not really something like where they sit with her and teach you, but via some instructional things that we're able to build. Every one of us in my home will go into business. Every one of us, from the first son to the last child, every one of us are into business, because this is something that we cut through from my mom. My mom, from where we come on at school, we go with her at the shop. Those kind of things, like probably when maybe a customer is kind of talking to you, and our shop is more like a 4-tier kind of shops that we had, and everyone has to man each of those shops. And when me mama here say you kind of holler at the customer, there's a way she's going to come draw your ears and tell you, then why, and then they give me money, yeah? So we learn those rudiments of customer service from those little moments that she was teaching us. And most of the time, maybe when our brothers, if there's some younger brothers that went in kindergarten school, where they come, and she gives them, because she was selling provisions, she has a provision store, and we give them some things, then we then go with her school. She would bring us, she has a big, like a box where she keeps the sales for the day. If they call me and tell me, say, look, this thing what I give them, this is the money, I'm paying it back into the box. Just to tell us that you have to separate your capital from waiting you they give us give. You should not say because now me get the business, then you at the end of the day you won't be able to account for things. So those little rudiments are things that we don't learn, what we don't know. And there's something she always says that is so right, that everyone that knows my mom knows that, she always says, when there is life, there is hope. That thing doesn't end. Anything, you bring anything to her, when there is life, there is hope. So she taught us that ability of believing that nothing is impossible for you to do. The moment you have life, you can always get it done. So along that line, these are things that I could say my own sojourn into business now, something we now like, because our own dad also was I can call her Fulamandem, because they were into pharmaceutical business, our own dad. You know, our own dad is a very great businessman who also taught them business, and along the line, she also passed it down to us automatically. So along the line, I'm someone that always look for solutions. What are the solutions to problems? Rather than discussing about problems, I'm always looking at, okay, fine, how will we be able to things and make it happen? My first business that I started was into graphics. I realized that most of the time while I pass through billboards and stuff like that, there are things that really attract me and I really love. So when we became Salon then, to go and buy a laptop at Kisi Road. And I knew that if I buy a laptop, I know I can learn graphic design and I could do it very well, then I would be able to, you know, move forward in life with this, you know. Some of the jobs I got then was from, there's one lady called Mrs. Justina Manley. She was working at Light Weapons. Then when I do go to them and I go to pitch, I didn't have an office. I didn't have anything. I was just only going to pitch to them that I could do graphics. I could do this. But some of the things that I had, which were my stumbling block, was that I do not have a company. How do I preach to these people that I could get these things done? So then I was always telling them, okay, fine, don't pay me anything. Let me get these things done. When I deliver, you pay me back my money when I deliver. So then it was something that was crazy. But then I would make sure I get those jobs. When I get those jobs, I design them. I send them down to Nigeria. I was able to establish, and most of the things I was able to establish were people I didn't even know. I've never met them. So I would just go search for things, and probably just my girlfriend then, I would tell her, okay, you just go look for these people that do this and get them, that I need to get this thing done and send it down here. There was no way to send money then. I would take dollars. I would change my money to dollars. And then, okay, I had someone working at I won't want to call the name of the company. Then the guy was working at the company. At the end of the month, he needed to remit whatever the sales they made. So what he did for me was to make sure that the sales is going to help me with the sales, because he's going to return the sales at the end of the month. So he did give me the money for Lago use, for do the work and return back to him before the end of the month. So when he give me that money, I just send and put him inside the envelope and go na lungi. Then go send the money via the envelope and call my girlfriend on the other end and beg and say, do ya beg, go yonder, just wait for me and take this person. And these are the picture of the person. It was such a risk, because there was no way I could send money across. Then the person go wait, then he go take the money, he go find who sign and go print it in the and send them. So that was how I was able to build trust, and I started gradually along the line. Then, and I can always say something to people when some people then can say, okay, these are the problems they have. I can say, light not day from where born. From where born, light not day in Africa. So we always say, because light not day, that should be a stumbling block for let you go before. You can always walk around those things and build it. It just sound like somebody where they sell water. You know, say water no, light not day for sell cold water, and the sun is high, and you're putting water out there. Then you want a person you can buy water. They sell blocks. Get the block and make sure you put it. So there should always. That was how I started. Then with my laptop, I was able to build. Then I've been staying at East. I was even staying with person as Bobby Cam. I was there on the bed because the guy had a room. He started behaving one way, and I had to just be sleeping on the bare floor then until I was able to get my own place. It's not as if I not get parents who will do something, but the way where they don't, you just have to find solutions to things. Along the line, then I was able to start my graphics. I was able to stand there, and someone came up here for me, like, do photography for him. And this person was just like, okay, fine, you could do this. I know that you can do it. It wasn't as if I've ever handled the camera. So with the camera, I can do this. And along the line, I also got a friend who also had a camera. The brother me buy camera from, but he don't know.
Waiting for do it.
So I was always using that to make money. Along the line, even when it started, behaving somehow, he couldn't, be to get the camera out. I was always going to then photography studios on Shaka Steven, and at the go to talk to them and lens camera. Then they pay 250,000 for that lens the camera. Wow. For that just go cover event and come back. Then along the line, I was able to build, and then where we established Zoom with me partner then, I realized there were some guys who have been staying at Congo Town that I realized that most of them either an Okada rider or somebody we don't get nothing for do. I was able to bring them in. The first guy who I been get, I brought him in as a cleaner. And this is the thing why I can always say, there are a lot of youths waiting in a salon right now. We really get the idea, but the problem is just that people do not give them the chance or the opportunity for let them at least advance and prove themselves. So those guys are just Okada riders, and most of them not even get nothing for the one way they booked for me. There was one specific guy that I realized that this guy is someone who really always finds solution to things. I brought him in as a cleaner. That time while they woke, when they called me, I go to cottage, all the way cottage, and they called me, say, posting one snap in the studio. I left the cottage at the rush camp, don't for can snap. So the purpose said this, you got too much. You won't believe that this guy, before, there was a time before I came back, he had read the entire canon manual from beginning to the end. And he just told me, boss man, I don't read this thing. This now will just show me. I was impressed. I was like, oh, okay, fine. Along the line, I was able to build. And along the line, we went back to Gugunto. We're always going back. We go pull out our body. No, grow. Went back, go pull out our body. Nice. They were able to grow from 1 to like 14 staff. And that body, we started as a cleaner, became a manager of the entire establishment. You know, so those are the things where I can always tell people that these are stories when now we build up and we're able to do it.
But that's why it's important for we forget them stories there so
exactly.
Because one thing we could do now that you get people in for understand how you people were made, and now able for reach to the point where they so direct today. I mean, look at you. Did you talk about how you sleep in a bare floor? How you go rent cameras? You pay 250,000 for camera rent and forget your work done. Now you have your own equipment. You have set up your own studio. You get staff to your employee. You contribute to the livelihood. Two things we've been. I mean, now similar threads we go across. Number one, we sooner talk about, and you said talk about now the influence you wanna get for make una do una do. Number two, wanna take risk. Like Antoine Ezilia, let's hear you, and then before we get to Aminata, and obviously, I mean, then thread there also go cross, and perhaps a third one might come up. But let's talk about your story as well. Why you start and how you manage for each side so.
I just like the fact that everybody they call me Ezilia, but hey, I'll run with it. Even you said, John. Anyway, like Waheed, Suna, you know, for me, I can always say business then are my genes, you know. My granny, I've been one big businesswoman, and my mommy. In fact, my mama story I can always use. My mom started selling, you know them woman where they sit on the street, they sell roast meat. I remember, I mean, I was very young. I probably was 3, 4, because, you know, me are the first of 4. My mom had 4 of us. And that made me begin for selling a street, roast meat, you know, growing up. My mom and my dad divorced when I was 2. And you know, my mama had been that kind of person where she was very independent and she'll say, I could do this, you know. If man can do and me can do and better. And I think that's where we got this business thing, you know. So I don't see my mama don't sell from roast meat in the street to getting 2 pharmacies, you know, from selling roast meat to opening the biggest pharmaceutical in Kono, and a boutique, you know, like you explained. So I saw my mom did the impossible. She did stuff where I can't, like for me, my mama is my biggest inspiration. When things go tough, even now for me in business, when things really tough, I just remember who signed my mama come out, the different things the way I see them go through. The first thing where I owed $5,000, I think I was probably 10, 11. And my mama puts me na taxi, then from Kono to Guinea, and puts the money under me clothes, tie the money for me, hand me over to the driver. I literally could not go to the toilet to do anything because I was scared. Like, for me, for go meet me auntie na Guinea with that money there, then buy all the markets, puts me back na motoka with driver. I sit down near the driver, say I come back Nakono. So for me, business, I had started business and living business and seeing business like from that age then day. So it was just a natural thing for me for kind of do. But growing up, Mama been get this thing where they say because it is suffer so much for make we go school, for provide for it. Want we for do wetin they do. It wants we for be doctor, other for be the lawyer, other for be, So she did everything for kind of discourage anybody, any of we for do business. And then I happened for go London, finished my high school there, and then do, college and, last night, as you said, the rest is history. But I work at the corporate world for some time, and then I meet me husband, me became in daddy. Gets me picking, but I could not go back to work. It was a struggle to go back into the corporate world. I remember leaving I left me picking at nursery at 7:30, and I would not come back home until about 9 some days. And something, and then my man go pick me picking. So I begin feeling, that this African thing as well, when now we ate and they put on our age, say now we na the mama, then now we na the people away for look after we picking. Talking to me, my Mike, you always say to me, how you go born you picking a man the men and all right. So, all of these things were playing in my head, and I struggled, for fitting to the corporate world. So one day I just decided, you know what, I'm going to leave work. And I come home. I remember talking to my husband.
You encountered the cost?
I did not. I think I was just in a state where, something that for me, I think me stumbling back into business, it was destined. And when it's destined, it doesn't matter. You can't fight it. I came home and I remember having this conversation with my husband then, and he said to me, are you mental? And I'm like, I cannot go back to work. I don't know what I'm going to do, but I just cannot go back to work. I just want to spend time with me became, so that made me excuse at first. And then I did. I went into work, talked to me then boss, explained to her and said, I can't. I like they suffer, whatever it is I was struggling with. And then he said, okay, let them give me, reduce me hours. So I said, fine. Then they reduced me work days then. So I began going to work 3 days a week. Then I did home with me became 2 days, work. Long story short, I left work, I quit work. And then I come home, me became where I been able to can't spend time. It became a point where I know even how see the became, because now I look at because responsible and then my life don't become like this kind, no use, right? And one day I sat there and I thought, I cannot live like this. I know I can't go back to work, but at the same time, I cannot be home. Just me and this became, it's frustrating. And I remember I was holding my laptop and I just decided, say, what if I probably just do cleaning? I loved cleaning, I love, for me, I get for clean all the time. That's something that is in me, and I just enjoy doing that. Not for do washing, for book and iron. That was my husband's role, and then I would clean the house, and he would do all the washing and ironing. And then I decided, let her do this. Let's try this. So I did a flyer on my laptop, just on an A4, and then cut a middle. I drop out. So the area where I live had big houses. And I drop na the house, different house there. 2 days later, I got a call. Somebody wants cleaner. And I went to the house and I started cleaning. And that's how my entrepreneurial journey started. I began clean this house. Before you make up that person, they don't tell somebody else. And then they tell her and say, oh, me cleaner really good. Little did she know that I'm a graduate. I get me MBA. And, I don't say nothing. It just looked me, obviously, me not black. This black girl. I don't think, say, they associate me with corporate and the area I would say, they don't even think, say, I live in that area there. And as far as I'm concerned, there's this black girl and she's really clean, she's decent, she's doing, she does a good job. So that's how I started getting cleaning jobs. Before you know it, I had about 5-10 houses in the area that I was cleaning. And now I've come down at the situation. Now I need help because they don't get boku. And them thing, they put me picking at the buggy. I ride me pikin go, put me pikin down, then I clean. In fact, one day one woman come, he see me pikin. In fact, I put on the TV on because the pikin in the guy. I left the pikin they watch TV, they had it clean. And when the woman opened the door come, I was like, oh my God. But she was so impressed. Just the fact say me pikin they, I carried me pikin. And that's, yes. And they recommend me to a few people. So long story short, I did that for 2 years. I did my cleaning job for 2 years. In 2 years, I now employ 8 people. I quickly, but then waiting make it turn very quickly into business. I remember one day me became the nursery, so me became still a go to nursery like 2 days a week, just for relieve me from stress of being mommy and business. Me became a nursery. The cleaners when they clean, they left the nursery open. So I go for drop me became that morning day. The owner was very disappointed and want for change the cleaners. And then I opted to do the job. And just look at me like, I said to her, I'm not joking. I know you work in town. You cannot be cleaner. I said, I want to do it. Anyway, I take over that thing. The day where I go there, the things when they use for clean, I realized that they were like the chemicals. I was so disappointed. I'm thinking my daughter actually comes to this nursery. So I quickly went to the supermarket, and then on the shelves, I saw this EnviroClean. And then I went home and researched about EnviroClean, and then I realized that, then they do cleaning detergent way toxic. And I read a whole lot, and I made my notes. Then I got in touch with this company for see if it's possible for me to buy straight from the company. And they said yes. So straight away, what I did, I make again on me, same laptop, not so possible to have for me, I just sit on there. I make like a 2-pager thing, waiting the cleaning company thereabouts. Then quickly, I kind of got a name for the business. I named it Envy Clean. And then I got all this cleaning detergent and put the pictures, do a nice brochure, and then begin at, go for nursery schools then. When I cleaned that nursery day, the next day, every parent that came into the nursery knew something different had happened.
Obviously.
And that's how I got my nursery. Before 2 years, I had a business that I sold.
Oh, wow.
With people that I was employing, full-time, part-time. But again, coming back to, I think I was able to do that because of my background, because I see my mama suffer, because I see what my mama do with business. And that's how all this story, about Isilia and everything, that's how it all started.
So I said, soon I tell you in story, 2 things stand out. Family and the influence and the risk owner take. Same thing with Isa too.
Yeah.
I know they call you Isilia again.
You can.
You know my mom's name.
He said the influence not be a mama, but also they have to make major decision and take certain risks by saying, listen, this is why they do so. I'm not cut out for this. I get situation where I need for handle in terms of me picking. I need for spend more time with me picking, but I can take risk. Imagine now, I have to say, you go and the person say I get me cleaner, not knowing that this is a graduate with an MBA. He don't work in a corporate world before, but make a decision for do what they do in waiting you find passion in doing. So like I say again, 2 things, the influence and the major decision and the risk will be associated with what you know they do. Amidu
Yes.
Love hearing from you, Seth.
And I'm not going to be the outlier here. I think my story resonates about the same way. So for me, the twist was that I grew up in Potloko a little bit, and then I moved to Kono at the age of 7. But when I moved to Kono, I've been there as men pikin to me auntie, because me mommy at a very young age went abroad to make sure that things were okay for us, so he go send for we. But the period where I've been in Kono, me uncle and me auntie they take care of me and the rest of me cousins them. They try to make things them together. So me auntie can always make markets for Ludi sell. Yeah. So after school, I will sell popcorn. I will sell fried plantain. But one thing that I remember then, when my auntie BD say to me, everything and put markets on me aid. As I step out of the camp, the markets don't done. Right? So because I used to have a knack for sales, for talking to people. There was just something. I didn't know it then, right? So
How old were you then?
I
You
was
say?
7, 8, 9, 10, very young.
Wow.
So I
you mean to go school or
I
you
was
mean-
going to school. After
Okay.
school, I go sell. After school, I go sell. So then at the age of 13, my sister and I moved to California. Yeah. So grew up in California, got my degree, was in corporate sales, doing amazing things. So in 2002, a friend of mine was getting married, and I came back to Sierra Leone for that wedding. It was fresh after the war. So back then, you even see bandage on people they on. You understand? And that really impacted me. Here I was in Silicon Valley, working corporate America, doing very well. And I had a 2-year-old at the time. So I came back in 2003 for another holiday just to know if this feeling of me wanting to move back to Sierra Leone is actually a thing, if it's not just a fluke. So finally in 2004, I packed up my bags there. My daughter was 4 years old. I moved come. But where I moved come salon, because I was in corporate America making a certain amount of salary a year, I couldn't make that same amount in Sierra Leone. So my thrust into entrepreneurship was out of necessity. I loved the fact that I wanted to be part of the economic transformation happening in Sierra Leone, but I didn't want to do it in the lens of corporate Sierra Leone. So I thought to myself, what is it I can do, that could be my own entrepreneurial journey. I left. I went to England to study. I got my chartered marketing, and I came back and I set up a marketing company. So I set up Pinnacle Marketing because back then in 2005, 6, 7, marketing was not robust. I mean, you had like some international Ghanaian companies that were doing marketing, nothing by Sierra Leonean. So I set up Pinnacle. And fortunately, I was able to get the contract with Sierratel. Sierratel was then rebranding itself from this old archaic, from SLED to, they had the CDMA system, so it was outsourced to me. But immediately, I was able to hire about 15 people.
Wow.
So not only did I do their marketing, I also did the sales for them. So my story with just the journey and what I was able to lean back on was my early on childhood sales skills that were honed by my aunt. I didn't know that I was going to be able to sell. I didn't know that I was going to be the person. But because I started very early on with humble beginnings, selling, it translated into who I am today. Pinnacle was one of the, I don't know if you remember the Sierratel campaign. I mean, it was so innovative. It was refreshing. I remember having local artists back then on billboards. I remember going to the province, just trying to instill in that, this is for us, us Sierra Leoneans doing this for ourselves. So after that, another opportunity came up. I used to have investors coming into Sierra Leone. I would see them in na Crown Bakery, go they talk them business. And I thought to myself, no level of confidentiality, you understand? And I thought, if I had a way to set up offices where if an investor is in country, they want to have a 1-hour meet, they can rent an office for a day, they can rent an office for a week till they figure out what they want to do. So in 2010, I set up BSI, Business Services International, where I did shared workspaces and I did virtual offices. So it was an opportunity to soft land businesses that were coming in country so that you don't go and rent an office for 5 years, right? Without even knowing if your business is profitable. And
we're basically established now, Now, one day we'll be able to, like you've all identified, able to look at what is missing and what can be done for fill that gap. Soon I said, the NGO then they go out there in community. They also go train people in Garata dying. They know they show them how to make the money from the skill where they don't acquire. Wahid mentioned that there were no, you can get graphic designers then, and I publish plenty people and they use. We were all doing it. But then he came and decided, okay, listen, I would go into this because it looked like not many people then they, though it's risky, I was able to get money and get for go na lunge, get for put on, give somebody with a car and go meet the, send out to my girlfriend in Nigeria. But he take the risk. Isaiah said he left because he been get for attend to family, but then he realized say he get passion for cleaning. He go and find out say he can go na the community where he find himself, big host any day for clean, go na in beginning nursery and find out say no, this is not right. Somebody know I can step in. I mean, as a 7-year-old to Kono, he go no say get sales, the ability. Then put market 9-8 by the time they come on the street, it done. He go get in studies done and find out. So she mentioned something that investors they come, the only place where they get for sit down, na restaurant. So she said there is an opportunity where I can able for step into, tap and create a space. Entrepreneurs are known for creating opportunities for people. With the passion as well want to get. Now, how would we do? I mean, innovation is always happening. Somebody's always looking at something new for Brain Camp. I mean, from now we're talking about AI. WhatsApp, they talk about having a new AI assistant now. We're going to answer questions for you, respond for you, type messages for you, come back, make pictures for you. So innovations happen all the time. Let's start with that. Do we have the environment, especially in Usawi friend we serve, for able to forget innovators, for able to come up with ideas and thrive? Any one of them I can jump on that, and then we can talk about entrepreneurship. Do we get the environment? Why? I said too sooner. We get the environment for that. Like you,
I always want to say like with Sierra Leone, because we're so far behind. We have an opportunity for leapfrog, meaning for skip starting processes and move right ahead to the new and the most latest thing, right? I think you will find that the creativity and the innovation that's happening here, you don't find that kind of advancement in other places because they have, like for example, when cell phones came, because America, those places, they had landlines. So it took them a lot longer, whereas with us, because our landline system wasn't as efficient, we quickly just leapfrogged to mobile telephony, right? And we see that also with electricity. As much as we access rates then low, but this decentralized renewable energy, the solar systems, all of that, we're leapfrogging and we're incorporating newer things into our system because we're not going to get the luxury for build that kind of a network. So definitely, I think we're breeding ground for innovation. I think places like DSTI and hopefully other government initiatives with the right enabling environment, I think we can certainly.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, the environment where we get now, we did meet young people them like sooner they work with school grind and like what you say earlier on. You get young picking them when at the creative hub. One of the reasons really why I thought, we need a space like this. We need a space to say, we will get, create the enabling environment, help them picking us so, then young people there so, for develop some of their innovative ideas there so, and you'll be really excited for where they see the young people where they come through creative every day in, day out. Or we would get in touch with them sooner, just needing the help. I think we have, in terms of innovative ideas, look like this is what we do. We do the keke?
The electric,
the electric keke. We've met someone that did a generator, right?
Water.
Now Waterloo, where I think they even give lights to so many houses in community. There's so many, examples out there. But waiting.
Environment available resources, support. Where USA will come out. I mean, private sector. You want to rely on government for provide that, but could be private sector's input as well for
So you need a combination, right? But waiting I see now the country, unfortunately, the private sector is almost like. We are against our government, the way I think the relationship where probably we need a lot of work needs to be done is to strengthen that relationship between the private sector and the government. Because I don't see any government, any country we go able to do so much without the private sector. And equally, we self need government. So I think we coming together and working together. I don't believe in everything government taking the lead. For me, I think as private sector people, we should always take, like you say, leapfrog. Let us act and lead by example. Put your money, put your aid, also you work day or you hack day, as people can say, right? I believe in the creative sector. I have worked in the creative sector over 20 years. And so for me, I've put my money, I've invested my money where my heart is. And I think just making that example, leading by example, now government gets a choice for either come on board as a co-driver or passenger. That choice is theirs, right? So that, I think that's what we need to do as private sectors and government, let us start some initiatives that we can work with government and hopefully we can all work together and provide that enabling environment for these innovations.
That's a very important point. I mean, the presidency wants to provide 500,000 jobs for, Sierra Leoneans, right? That can be done by government alone. Let's be realistic. It has to be with public-private partnership because private sector obviously now the biggest employers now the Konski. Wahid, so now you want to come first before Wahid, or let's take Wahid.
Okay. There's something I would like to say. That environment, not having the environment, is even an opportunity in itself.
Exactly.
In itself, because I do tell people there are so many guys that within the country really they watch, and some of the things that we then can talk about. You realize that what usually kills most of these ideas is just that maybe there's somebody not the way who really just support them with the ideas that they have. And this whole thing about innovation that we always talk about, maybe Africa day behind or not day before or whatever. There's no innovation right now. In fact, 95% of innovations is not addressing future problems. They're addressing problems that are deep-seated with us, that have always been there. If you talk about WhatsApp communications, before, in the olden days, we have parents, there's a way they communicate, via gongs and stuff like that. WhatsApp only came to improvise on that and build it. Healthcare, there's a way people have been delivering kids and Africa before then. Only there's just a new things that just came in to just advance that. So those things, so I believe even if we still day backwards, there are still things that we can always develop to address the current situation that we have. And now there's something I usually say. I like being, if I'm going to be the odd one out or anything, government really, in my own view, do not have no business creating jobs. If we keep saying, okay, government have to create jobs, especially for Africa, the reason why is that if government creates jobs, what you're only creating are only food for the boys, or creating food for people within your own political circle. Because whether you like it or not, when you do that, what they do is just that you're looking at those people within your political circle. What you just need to do is empower those people within the private sector to create those jobs. That is how you can get monitoring systems in place. That is how you can get people to be serious about getting things done. That is how you can get returns on those investments that they do. But the moment government keeps creating things, go and look at it 20 years, 10 years, everything that government has always put their hands in Africa in terms of creating jobs, none have you ever seen that has lasted beyond their tenure. Because at the end of the day, when the government leaves, another one comes in and creates another thing. So it's still that same thing that we keep having. So what I just feel that government needs to do is to look at those entrepreneurs that are doing great things and try to bring them up and give them that enabling environment for them to be able to look at and help people. Now take a look at the photography industry in Sierra Leone. Now there's a new guy that just came up. His name is Nito. Asan Nito Bangra just opened something on Campbell Street. He's going to employ at least 7 to 10 people. That's a way of at least helping people out. There are a lot of other people like that are just everywhere, littered everywhere. Look at somebody like Tolu Bade, who owns Envisage. Tolu took it upon himself to focus on girls learning photography. In this country today, Tolu is the one who started
Yes.
training females in photography, and that has
Girls
really
behind
created
the
a tornado.
Exactly.
Yeah, it has created a tornado effect. And you look at most of those girls now, they're handling cameras. Look at those singular effects.
Yes.
So those are the things that we really just need to look into, in my own view.
Absolutely. Suna.
So for me, you question now whether we get the enabling environment. And one of the things that I feel like say we for look at now, waiting really in the enabling environment, because a lot of time when you talk to people, most people think the enabling environment now money, and they miss out. It's what they think. What does it take to be an entrepreneur? We don't get money, but then there are a lot of tenants they will reach out. Everybody at this table I don't reach out to. Like every single person we sit on, I don't reach out to. Me I like Hamburg person quick. If I don't know, I'm always reaching out. Can you tell me your experience? How do you think I can do this? X, Y, Z. So when you talk about entrepreneurship, innovation, and the ecosystem, and whether it's there, one of the things we need to understand is entrepreneurship and innovation not two separate things. A lot of times people think
They're exclusive.
one can operate without the other. If you operate without the other, then you're running a business. You're not an entrepreneur. So we they try to go towards being the innovative entrepreneur. How do you become that innovative entrepreneur? How do you identify what is needed to be that innovative entrepreneur? All man I am they serve as mentor for me because I get to learn a lot of things from them. I remember I think it was last year I reached out to Amy because I wanted her to talk on something, and I remember her sharing a own story of how in mama had been like one of his biggest supports, and it was just her giving me an insight as to how your background very key in waiting you go turn out to be. So a lot of times we're about government's not a support. We're going back to waiting why he'd say it's not. It's waiting at the resources. And when you talk about resources, who can I go to? Where can I find it? Who can I collaborate with? Now, all of them in a way you're able to outline and answer. It's not just outlining them, it's being able to answer them. Now, then they make you know, say, we get the enabling environment. And going back to government, I think the first step for me, where me pleasantly surprised was that the fact that they're not able to recognize, say, entrepreneurship, innovation does have a space. Now we economic we economic in Goan, and which is why I think we now get the Ministry of Communications, Innovations, Technology, and I think again for do with entrepreneurship. And just by
but we've had DSTI for 5 years.
I think DSTI, that was a separate. That was not for an officer in communications.
But it was science, technology, and innovation. It was DSTI.
Well, for me, why make me feel say this is a plus now that it's on a much more it's broader salon. Now for how they can able for see how they can lay the pillars them, whether not legislative wise. I don't think the STI had that. I may be wrong, but I don't think they had that to lay all of them in there. But now we get an actual ministry ready for do that day. And me just want for see how they go come like way I said to say and collaborate with the private sector. So it's not just establishing this ministry, it's also knowing that there are players where you need to collaborate with, because at the end of the day these players have been there for the longest, and even if not to them in there now them pay people them in there, then people then pass their stories and then pass their experience there, and we get to carry them forward, and we get boku for say. Even if we don't get the technical skills, we still have a lot for say, because now we all move from just identifying opportunities to actually creating the systems for make their opportunities here so work. So for we, understanding that being innovative entrepreneurs, we get access to these resources where if private sector not able for we know say there's a space within government. Most of the countries the way we they watch or where we they go, or they even watch, they're like set aside establishments and just for them kind here. You not get for begin the fet for it up now the internet for things that we not necessarily relate to your country. I think that's one of the challenges where they talk about resources. Most of the things we see now waiting to happen in America, waiting to happen in Uganda, but we want to forget the resources where relate to salon, because at the end of the day, the atmosphere we deal in, the salon atmosphere. It's nothing, it's not waiting to happen at any of them other side. But yes, there is the enabling environment. We self need to know within this enabling environment for take advantage of
So what's available in the environment?
So there's just something I want to add.
No, it's my turn.
To what she said. In terms of
let's come down this way. Let's go
go down this way.
having the Ministry of Innovation and stuff like that. I just feel there's something. Every ministry from beginning to the end has a link to creating jobs in the country. Either you have Ministry of Innovation coming in on whatever. Every ministry. Is it Ministry of Agriculture?
Of course.
Is it Transportation?
Health.
Of course.
Is it Aviation?
Health?
Is it
Aviation.
Health? What I expected should have been activated in each ministry is what we call a component or maybe an office of innovation for each of those ministries so that you have innovations under healthcare.
So you bring minds, you bring young people.
Innovation under minds,
yes.
innovation under transportation, innovations under... So
under
you start to
agriculture.
think about ideas under each of those ministries that can help to facilitate jobs creation and employment.
Go ahead. No, so I think what we've been doing, as a country, right, is create tenderpreneurs rather than entrepreneurs. These government institutions put out tenders and give contracts, and people think that's being an entrepreneur. There's no innovation in that, right? And another question we may want to ask, as Sierra Leoneans, in terms of sustainable businesses, how many businesses will say there's a legacy business that's been operational for over 50 years?
Yes, exactly. That's
like, what is
the
that
problem.
Brand?
That is the problem. Trade trams,
Like Sierra Leone owned, right? Okay, maybe Red Lion.
So you have Red Lion. I mean that's another conversation. Trade trams, I'll put trade trams there, because they've been known for donkey years.
I'm just saying, all of this to look at sustainability plan and session, like even within businesses.
Absolutely.
Even if it's like my business, for example, obviously I know better than just to say I'm just going to hand it over to a child, right? So I'll put a succession plan in the right management structure, but that's not what we family they only do. We hear about the stories being inspired by our mothers or our aunties, but it was just that.
So what was missing? In fact, I've just been thinking about this. Like you say, our people made money. They do business, but it's hard when you don't understand, when you're not financially literate. I think that's the major problem for we. It's that financial literacy.
That's it.
To
the resources.
Suna's point, because money for make money. When you're making money, that's when you think about what can I put this profit into. When you hear about these people, the waiting at the guy in the mobile Twitter, Elon Musk, right?
Yeah.
When we hear about Elon Musk, he lives on all the interest, right? They do business. It's not entrepreneurial. You understand? When they do business, even the business people there, you understand? When they do business,
So it might be funny, but we didn't do business for
daily bread, right? To do, I think one of the things for me, I feel, in this environment, in this ecosystem, I think the area we need to focus on is actually on financial literacy. So where they make money, for answer that question, is knowing how to invest your profit. What do you do with the money that you make? What would make you wealthy? You're not, because we don't have wealthy people in our I don't know if we get wealthy people in our communities, right, or in our country. Maybe few, but the gap is because all man the way they do business at this level is doing just business, and they don't think about how do I turn this money? How can my money make money? What can I invest in? When I make profit, where can I put money to make money?
Really, that's why we have you guys today. At AYB on Sunday. Forget this. I mean, we know if you are somebody be reach out to now and consult to now. Forget a session like this. You could have made money from it.
Absolutely.
But this knowledge and information on the past, so it would help a lot of people. Because the basic thing we said today, what's the role of innovation and entrepreneurship in growth and economic development. Now, listen to what I today say. We're not there make money for make money. We're basically just
Making money
Survival.
Making money to live, for survival.
Yeah.
For survive.
Yeah.
So now they bring out the exposure now to people. Say, okay, imagine that woman, this na small market get, na fana market get.
Yeah.
But that fana market then I will make the beginning and go school number and that's it. Live your life from hand to mouth and that's it at the end of the day.
Yeah.
This young person, they set up in photography studio. I mean, for the best thing for at the end of the day,
Yeah.
lost your equipment, begin for sell them, and that's it. The studio, no, it was just a dream.
Yeah.
It don't done for. I don't think about waiting for invest in buying new equipment,
Expanding.
and out then new equipment, and they go expand in business and buy new equipment, employ more people, and keep this in going, so that exactly scale up, and get more money.
No, I was in Ghana last month, right? And it's simple. When you talk about innovation, entrepreneurship, I was literally in like an art center, and I needed to pay for leather. I sat where I was sitting. I transferred the money on mobile money. This guy got the money, got the rider, paid the rider through mobile money. Rider picked up the stuff and brought it to where I was. I didn't have to move. That was possible because of technology. You know how many chain go so waiting me go left in terms of innovation for starters in our country, because like Walid said, we have it's in here. It's just about how do we develop what's here. So innovation is not just about making something new. It would also look at the existing systems where you get, the services where you get. How do you improve those services? Now you have a business, for example, like this small example where I gave. Imagine say some woman where they sell na Congo market, right? Have another person in buys. They go to is it Dovecot market to buy? But if both can use orange money, mobile AfriCell money, like mobile money, and that woman can sit at Congo market, pay the woman in Dovecot, and that Dovecot woman can pay the biker to bring this stuff to her. Do you know how much time and money it don't
save?
You understand? And that's innovation. So it is not the impossible. It's not about like you creating something to stop the world, right? It is about improving the services. What is existing? Improve that service for address the needs of your customer. I started using website. I built a website for Isilia because the customers we had, then, I was selling in the market, at Spitalfields Market. When I started, we were selling at the market. And now I realize, we have a lot of people that come through the market that want to buy the stuff, that are probably, live in Japan. I had customers in Japan. I had customers in Saudi. I had people who really liked what we were doing.
It's a global market.
Yes, it's a global market. And how can I reach my customers? How can I reach these people? We created an e-commerce site. That's me joining the innovation. So it was just addressing. So when we talk about innovation, let us not begin to think it's something new, something impossible. You're the market woman. How do we get these people to be financially inclusive?
So this is about utilizing what is existing. For
enhancing,
and enhance your business.
Enhance your business.
Absolutely.
For reduce your time. Where you will spend resources generally. Imagine you get for take transport from Congo Cross to PZ, forget the business, where you can basically pay through mobile money, and then the company gets delivery service. So imagine the ecosystem, the jobs you're creating.
Okada Rider is
Can I tell you guys, if you haven't already heard of the waste app that I've been working on, Dotibox.
Dotibox.
I'll use this opportunity to tell you about it. It's fully functional. However, I have issues with the bottom part of the value chain, right? So Dotibox is meant to, or it will, digitize waste management. It's an Uber for waste management. So you can basically go on, it's on Google and Apple Play Store, and request for a waste collection service from any of our registered waste service providers. The problems that we've been having is that some of these waste service providers have issues with their equipment. Now, you would think with something like this that opens up your customer base, you would invest in your equipment to say, okay, now I know instead of where I had 10 customers with this app and the company that's promoting this app, I have an access to a larger customer base. The waste collectors are not investing in their equipment. So now as an entrepreneur, I see the opportunity. So I'm now working backwards to take care of that lower part of the value chain. I set up this app because on the upper end of the value chain, I'm doing waste to energy. So I'm buying organic waste from waste collectors that use my app to feed my waste to energy installations. I will not be able to feed my installations if I don't have visibility on wastes that's being collected. So stay tuned. Dotibox is
That's a good one. I've always seen the waste industry in Sierra Leone as untapped. I've seen that for a very long time, and that's a very good one that she's doing, because that will really help a whole lot of youths. It can even help with the current push situation, because the reason why a lot of people are taking push is just because they're idle, and there's nothing to really engage in. So that's a very good one. Ami mentioned something now. The thing I love about entrepreneurs is their ability to go back and look, like Wahid say, they see problem. You always they see an opportunity. You always they see
challenges and opportunity, not problems.
Exactly. So I've said to my team, I manage a team as well, and I said to them, let's not use problem as a word, our vocabulary when we work. Let's look at opportunities.
That's it.
So anytime we something when in quotes for big problem, we look at an opportunity. So let's find a solution or solutions, several of them. And then we go for the best option we fit with context. So like Suna.
Sorry, I just want Mogi so you can call them areas for improvement.
Exactly.
That they can work. But when on all they talk, there's this thing that keeps coming up. I can just remember so many times people love using the examples of them Akituma and of court. Particularly when it comes to maths. You can say, this person must have been managing books, but that man in of court for the longest.
That's 2 houses.
I think one of the things that even me myself, it took some time to understand and accept that entrepreneurs, you can't just tag people because you see them dress fine and wear suit. Entrepreneurs go to grassroots. And there's a problem with us not recognizing that entrepreneurship, even they market woman them. So have we ever really wondered how they do it? You ever see them business, then when they die, the business they die. There's now one of them model they were still not able to get yet. There's sustainability inside the business them. Go on a market, do visibility, ask them how you manage begin sell now. Me mama 9 minutes sell now. Me auntie 9 minutes sell now. There's always a background story, and then people and everybody the mafia of entrepreneurs. You just never able to figure out how they get to do it. So for them, there's a lot to learn from them. But then we remember now how do they join, like where Ami Eldon do join the innovative bedwagon. Now that we see now, then we other entrepreneurs now don't begin open online market store, wherein you don't need for go down. They are people can they advertise. If you not for dodgy foods now, of course now for if you not like so cute, send me. Just send me your market list. They just get you what you want. At the end of the day,
they do shopping.
It goes back to the whole thing where they say how does entrepreneurship and innovation drive the economy? It's identifying who that really in the ecosystem, and that's usai boko of with misam. They do not even know who that's they make up the ecosystems. And I remember I posted something, somebody that asked me, say, which ecosystems? So like in my head, you all man supposed for no say every sector gets an ecosystem. Right. Or is it that people don't understand that thing? There is an ecosystem. Some you can able interrelate, but every sector has its set ecosystem, and you need for know who that then are the players then at that side. So if Ami were to tell you about the ecosystem, he obviously not go tell you about the market too man. He go begin tell you about the one the way they get at the dirty. He go begin tell you about them people in a bombe. Yeah, the market then they get at the dirty. He go tell you the bombe people them. He go even tell you the offices them, because then self they get a dirty from. If you ask I said to not go begin tell you the teachers, the lawyers, they tell you say professional, because it gets in target market. There is this ecosystems in here, the people the way they play parts for making business survive. If you ask Wahid, it's the same thing. You always go to say, how do you make your packages? In package, you always tailored for something. If you want the wedding, you get waiting in the waiting. And know the people that for reach out. So likewise, you ask me, but it's that. So people then need to understand that every player inside all these ecosystems mentioned then gets a role. And one of the things I think it was you as we talk, there's this cascading effect that people not they notice. It's a chain effect. You just get for starts on side and then knocks on side, and voila, we did on day. So for let the economy go before, we not need for we always suits and coats and tie. We all not need for sit down and table them for make me feel say the economy they go before. Because every player gets in place inside the ecosystem. There are those where there is no way if I see person we're supposed to wear suits and tie, they don't get they get adult. They ask you like, are you not missing something? That is not your role. There are roles, there are responsibilities inside and how you able for even empower other people if you want to get one for do all thing inside the.
So I still
the market women are not for entrepreneurs anyway. Just to drop that.
Come on, many people.
So I still wonder, guys. I still wonder. I mean, we have Uber now.
No,
it's a company set up. People are registered in taxi. No. I mean, not entirely own. I just they say.
But then that's another thing. Why doesn't Uber work in salon? Okay. Why doesn't?
Have we, you don't set up people that are registered and taxi them or the motorcar them.
But could don't fail.
So I know few companies we know.
Yeah. They've tried it.
Yeah, but could don't fail. Plenty don't
fail. Now the reason is just because one thing I do say every time is that when something don't fail. When something don't, you do something, you fail, there must be one element to it. Look for that solution. Now, there's a solution I've always spoken about to some of my guys that are interested in that area. If Uber, because most of the time we're always looking at, okay, find cars with air conditioning. If Uber doesn't work, create a keke bar. You can call it a keke bar. And create keke and try, you know that most of the kekes in the country, they are shared. Then start with sharing stuff whereby you can do it. You call it a keke share. You create an app that is keke share. You know there are people that are always moving from Lumley in the morning down to town, and you create a keke share. When they go on their app, then they have 3 people. When the 3 people are full, they go.
Where to make Uber succeed?
Like just the literacy as well, digital literacy. Like. You understand, we want to roll out all these solutions, but I think only a small fraction of the population will be able to have access. Now, if you're talking about scale and wanting to reach a lot more people, government or different things has to happen to make sure that people are aware and they know how to use.
So you know when
there's something I do say. There's something I do say. When we're talking about,
hold on, let's get Wahid first.
Okay, when we're talking about that literacy, you see almost everybody, even as far as going to upline. There's some people that listen to some Facebook lives.
Yes.
They're logged into it.
Yes.
So to me, I do say that's a good way to start. You know, when you have people that can there are people, there are some aunties that we have, when on WhatsApp, then they begin send you them boku messages them, boku videos them, and they do those things. There are people even at weddings. You see them holding phones, you know, standing in front of the camera and doing those things. So to me, that's a basic. That's a basic way to start. The moment they have that operational capabilities for them to be able to.
I don't want to. I think for me, the mobile money is a good baseline to start from, because that you're actually punching your.
Even with mobile money, you want to ask the penetration.
Exactly.
You want to ask that as well. I mean, penetration. You want to ask the access.
Yeah. But I feel now, you know. Even though things are, you know, we say the gap, you know, we're backward and stuff. I think, I mean, prove me wrong, but I feel like in terms of digital and technology, we actually did guy as a country. Right? We are reaching areas that my grandmother in the village will tell me about things that are happening because of WhatsApp, right? Yeah. She's got a phone now that has WhatsApp, and they send all these messages. So I feel like digitally we can reach rural areas.
So the question is, we can reach.
Yes, the reach is growing.
Hold on, then we can reach the accessor question is,
It's expensive, but they can
How?
access it.
then
Are
go,
they able to navigate?
so that's the question.
yeah,
Then
so
go
the
The
able,
navigation.
able for user.
For you.
Yes.
That's the question. I mean,
so the question is,
You have a certain set of people who are able for access and a user,
a user,
without
but
company.
not many.
Yes.
So how do we reach? What do we do? We need to teach them.
So those
right?
households
we need to educate
have
them.
school-going kids.
Yes.
So
Yeah.
for us, with the app, we've targeted the school-going kids in that household because you just need an individual within the household to be able to put in a request, right? So that could be another avenue. You know,
But it's teaching, yeah. So to address that, I think this is where we need to teach them, whether it's digital, whether it's finance, whether it's innovation. It's to teach them because
just to teach
a
them,
lot of
yeah.
people would want to know, would want to be a part of this, but they're not aware. So create the awareness and create the programs that can teach these people.
Yeah, and there's something that happened during Ebola. During Ebola, there were a lot of digital interventions that came in. I remember what we did work that time. We would be good. There's something we call Operation Northern Push. I was part of the WHO team that went for Kabia, to try to stem the tide of the rise in Ebola cases. And we were able to use a lot of digital innovations, whereby people then when they know say they get person way sick, there's a way they can, there's some USSD code
Yes,
that they can
access.
use to get some things down. Even when it was issue about getting people from picking people, when we have people all over the streets, then how you can. So if we can do that, then I believe that we should still be able to do it.
Yes.
And
I
just
mean,
improve
it's
on
part
that.
of the ecosystem, as you mentioned, right? It's having that literacy.
I think we kind of, sometimes I feel like we underestimate our people.
Yes, that's the word. Yes.
I really think sometimes we underestimate our people, but our people are very intelligent. It's if they're aware of something, you need to make them aware and encourage them and provide, like we say, the resources,
Exactly.
information, and they will run with it. What I mean, the thing but say mobile money would take off like we take off.
Exactly. It's just like when you mentioned about Ghana.
Yes.
You look at the way Ghana, that Momo is just like everywhere.
Yeah.
And you realize Ghana also had a past.
Yeah.
And those people then,
Of course.
it's so
They had
funny
a past, but
how
the
things
other,
have gone.
thing, the other thing they've done, what I like about the Ghana, also when we're talking about, providing that enabling environment for private sector, Ghana has introduced this one district, one factory system.
Yeah.
That's really encouraged a lot of diasporans to come back home.
Okay.
Because what they do, they provide, so if you're going to like a district, one district, one factory, they reduce taxes. And you literally bring your idea and you plug in. So there's a space for your factory, there's everything. That is, we need
And that's
things.
how
And there's an experience I'm going to show in there. There's an experience I'm going to show
Rather
in
than
there.
overtaxing the private sectors, come out
so-
and encouraging the private sector.
One district, one factory.
Yeah.
Now that NRA want more taxes.
You know,
Patients who I don't see, when they come in with high blood pressure, what they talk to them, say, okay, fine, wait till one lady they do, just they give me a paper, and for the monitor, get a nurse, monitor your blood pressure in the morning and evening time, for the next 1 week, write them on paper, and come with them for me. The illiterate ones are the ones that usually get back to me more. That's the funniest thing.
Wow.
Than the one that we are more illiterate. You understand? They are more literate. So you look at those kind of things. So there's a way we can at least teach those people, and you will see that they will keep to it more.
We get plenty comments. We need to take them, but one question I need to ask. Failures in this business.
Yes.
I wouldn't say failure.
That's ingredient.
Yes. It's not,
If you have never
Challenges, you have
Challenges.
obstacles.
If you have never failed this business, please
Setbacks,
close
you
it.
want
There's no
setbacks.
blame somewhere.
We
challenges.
just start with challenges.
Yes. So opportunities.
Yeah.
Let's start with it.
No, but okay, let's be realistic.
Yeah.
Let's be realistic.
Yes.
You buy a taxi, or you buy keke, you buy one Okada. You want for starter off. You want to get a young man for start off for you. He appear looking good, like a saint. Everything is fine. 1 week you start, second week you go on. 1 month is fine.
Yeah.
1 month and a half, begin
become,
counter you with problems.
Yeah.
The next day will come tell you say the chain don't cut, this to Hamburg, your bike is gone.
Yeah.
And not to no fault of your own, but the fault of the person you want for bringing candy. And then you don't get a bike again, you don't get your resources again. What's that? Entrepreneurs. Let's be realistic.
Yeah, that's a setback. I think one of our main problems is people. We have a people problem.
Exactly.
We have a people problem.
Doing business in salon, Vicky said something last week. That's doing business in salon. You need people, you need patience, and you need endurance or something. But it's true. It's and it's not just doing business in salon. I mean, things are bad, or they are more challenging here in salon because there are no systems, right? But doing business generally, you need patience, you need people. And the problem, what makes it more challenging in a salon is that gap. Like I may say, we don't get people. Once you get people, you invest in them. People not believe for be committed, for be consistent, for land. With people not sabi for, they don't look for land. They just want for see. They talk earlier on. Like they see us out in the streets, and they want for be army, or they want for be Isilia, right? But you don't know the struggle that I've been through. You don't know the challenges where they go through every day. For employ people them na salon, it's difficult. I know it's difficult for the places, but it's really challenging. And when you begin think, and most of the problems that we face, like as private sector, you compare notes na the taxes are high. The employment laws then as salon, not favor we private sectors. So how for do business, it's just tough na salon, right? It's really a tough ground. And the challenges that they come day in, day out.
Then why do we do it?
But how do you do it every day? For me,
I love this panel. Hope we get time for extend to 1 hour. We'll get plenty comments.
Rebecca adds something.
So hold on, Suna. We'll come to you. Let me take some comments there for me.
This is our 1 hour program.
We will take some comments from your viewers and on Facebook and across the in the country and across the world. Let's go on. Salifu will help us with the
Thank you
text
so
messages.
much, John Conte. As you say, we get a lot of messages, even though Bakuno they in line with when they discuss, but we could take the one that we did in line with today's discussion. And the first person in text where I would take now from Eddie Grant. They say entrepreneurship should be introduced in all secondary schools as a core subject. This will help boost economic growth. And Al-Hassan Samura say, good evening, AYV. Madam Sona is truly an iron lady. Her passion for seeing young people live through their dreams and become who they want to be is unparalleled. Coupled up with her dreams, School Grind has served as a conduit for incubating potential dreams. Please smile for me. All right. And Kabia Central, they say, AYV, the problem with Sierra Leone, when you bring an innovation to the country, the minister then all wants percentage per idea we did not bring to the table. And Abiz Kam say, the main reason why the young people in Sierra Leone don't progress with their innovation, it's mainly because of lack of support from the government and the private sectors. The young people really need more private sector in the country for them to excel with their skills. Abiz again, they say, government should encourage those innovative youths by acknowledging their potential and encouraging them to do more. This could be by awarding them every year. And Mr. Sakez, they say, this is a superb discussion. There is surely no impressive growth in an economy without a strong private sector driven by cutting-edge ideas. I agree with Dr. Wahid that every ministry can create jobs and spur economic growth through innovations and entrepreneurship. Alhaji Amara Kebe says, one interesting way to look at entrepreneurship is to divide it into two broad categories. Necessity entrepreneurship is the launching of a business by people who lack other opportunities. Opportunity entrepreneurship is the creation of an enterprise in response to a new or previously overlooked opportunity. And Mr. Sakez again, Madam Aisatu highlighted that there is poor relationship between the private sector and the government. This is huge. How can that relationship be strengthened for positive outcomes? And Abiz Kams again says, honestly, I think Sierra Leone as a country needs more development and sustainable growth like roads, energy, and infrastructure to invite more private sectors in the country. Alhaji Amara Kebe. One question I would like to ask the panelists is how honesty and trust can affect entrepreneurship. Because if you look at the transportation sector, if you buy a vehicle and give out to an unemployed driver, you might not succeed because they will try to enrich themselves instead of helping to grow the business. I am talking out of experience. And Abiz Kams, there is no proper internet connection in Sierra Leone to have Uber. And Kabia Central, he say, I just don't come na salon for run 5 project them. But the minister them all, they asked me for percentage. One of the projects is to centralize government school system that can create complete web and mobile app for schools in less than 5 minutes. And all schools are connected through the centralized system I built. The other one is a full payment system that works like PayPal. It allows these schools to accept payments from any part of the world, and the payment system has plunging for small and big businesses to integrate in their online business very easily. All of these are fully fully funded by me without any support from the government. And now we want to give the school system to government for free, but this minister is telling me that if a huge sum of money is being given to me, the big chunk of that money will be given to him. I have been in Sierra Leone for the past 2 months now, and nothing is going as planned for the administration part.
Wow.
And Abdul Sultan Latif Kagbo. We don't have a proper internet in Sierra Leone to cover every part in the country. And also, it's very expensive. And Kabia Central say, please, how can we contact these people in the studio to showcase your project to them and see if they can help you reach the right people that can help with funds? So I think that would be the last message I would take for today. And back to you, John Content at the studio.
All right, thank you very much, Sally, for quite interesting comments today so far from we viewers on AYV on Sunday. We've been just to talk about challenges, setbacks, obstacles, and this person apparently like not complaining it bring come on the page with. I mean, if you're certain about that, please go to ACC at least. Go report. If you get evidence, go let them know that this is what is happening and what you want for bring and this now in the you get from a minister. We don't know if that's allegedly.
The one idea I will go even like for truth to that person.
Yes.
Also. Of course, you might have allegations. I don't know how substantiated those allegations are. But it's important that if one way no go, look at another way. Have you tried all the private schools in the country?
Yes,
that's
exactly. Why do you have to centralize all the schools?
Watch all the private schools then within a salon and try to preach that idea to them and see that as a template that the government will now see as something that, oh, this is working, and we can copy from this.
That's what I always say.
So that's just what suggestion I would do. Even if it's just to start with 2 schools.
So I'll add something.
It's a start.
Absolutely. So that way, like you say, entrepreneurs, they always do.
Yeah.
Why it is here in the studio, they either complain the langa one.
Yeah.
I mean, you can't build a castle on just the person they asked me for gear and kickback, and that's where it is. You don't stop.
And
There are other avenues.
And it could
That
be
should
high
not
risk.
stop you.
So I feel like at times there's a lot of things where everybody talk about the whole death in skilled workforce. One of the things that we always is say, first step we just get the traditional career pathway. All man, law doctor, lawyer, banker, XYZ. But we don't get this huge surge of tertiary institutions, the way they offer alternative
Advocate,
yes. But
vocation.
one of the things that I also notice is even we, the private sector, not they utilize this particular resource. You go your reports in the ala all day, but in a run hotel, in order able to get proper staff, we sabi pray the bed, we sabi clean, we sabi it. But you forget say you get wide OBCA, you get that with their vocational waiting there. Now that make them day. That's why you have these courses. You get reports in the ala about they're not take good pictures and all this. But you forget say we get studios then, but no, you want that you paddy for take really good AI pictures then for you. Then skill sets then they are not they say all day, but some of them they. But we, the private sector, including the government, we the private sector know they utilize them. So now that make one of the things where school grind they do, we can organize it to call this Career Expo. And the reason behind it now, because we they bring out all the tertiary institutions, then the one that were legally recognized by TEC, and then bring out the students there. Now like exhibition. And always the institutions then can form each 1/10 for now if we say when they support each 1/10 can signify one institution. Then all they did from all the vocation, the tech folks, everybody they talk to the students there, because most of them picking them, then self-minded don't they change from just wanting to be doctors, lawyers, and teachers. So you they create that platform for them now for say, if you want for be fashion designer, there's Blue Crest College. Now that's thing they do. If you so interested in photography, in architecture, there is Limconquick now, so they call it university, you want for go there. There are all of these things who are available. So whilst we always can they talk, say, the skill sets not there, the workforce not there, we self also for begin utilize their resources. You see all they have about the enabling environment, there are these resources available. We self need for knows who side for go for fan their resources. And then just listening to all the people the way they talk, one of we major problems then are that people always feel, I'm sorry, but I feel like at times a lot of people feel entitled to certain things.
But that's a huge problem here.
And if they go through feeling so entitled, like when we they talk, somebody message me and say, oh, we all they make entrepreneurship sound very hereditary. I'm like, it's not really. Everybody gets in story. There's this story where unique to everybody. But we all get that story the way they tell you, say, we now wait for government for support, we now wait for, at times some people not even wait for families and friends for support. Everybody now go able to tell you their personal investments into all the different dreams there. And it's not just about investments, it's about, then they call them sorrow tears. It's about the thing where you don't give up. It's a lot of things, sacrifices where you didn't make. And if you get XYZ for do, like why did they say, it's not always a straight cut channel. Now make you see one of the key things where I keep the talk is being innovative as an entrepreneur. There are ways you can go around. Yes, I don't say you sometimes some of these things you're doing for schools. When I started school going, I believed, and I still believe it was just for schools. But I don't wait for say past ministry can endorse me, past the minister tin up and talk about me before I start for Duam. I begin harass everybody was I be. You said I should say I don't harass you, but could tell like, hey, what you think about
going
this?
after what you want. I think I was listening to. I think it's Dr. Miles Monroe or one writer. He said, "Life not a give it in the way you want. It a give it in the way you demand."
Yes. But just for add to waiting so that they say, so partly I agree with them, say skills, we get some institutions, tertiary institutions where they provide the skill, but there's the problem. That in itself is a problem because not changing patterns, right? But one small example, I mean, YWCA, I visited YWCA. YWCA don't day for decades, right? But when you go into the institution itself, you visit some of them classroom there, so the equipments are not there. Nothing or they then pick here where they go land. It's like literally, I mean, it's survival.
Yeah.
Yeah. No call them another name. Now you cannot put them picking and they not job straight away. Even though not tertiary, that's why they're supposed to like train them, and then the expectation is when they come out, then come for that you will place them because I'll be waiting for them because it's hands-on, like the Bible will say. No, most of them they go through all of this. The equipments are not there. The supports, the rights, the environment's not right now. You understand? So what we need to do, whether the private sector, government, I keep saying because for me, I believe we have to work hand in hand. Yeah. Somebody asked, say, how for waiting for let that happen. Dialogue. Let us engage. Let us sit down. Let us talk. Create that. Create dialogue. Create opportunities for let we come together. Let we sit down. Let we engage, as people can say. But even the institutions, the tertiary institutions now, they don't have the opportunity. They don't have the skill set. They don't have the things to really train these people that we expect to come into the job market and do. I have girls from YWCA. Last year, I took about 35 of them that came to do work experience. Of the 35, we ended up employing 10 of them because again, there's something not working.
We need a system overhaul.
We need an overall system change. So begin with the tertiary. If you're doing that, for me, what I would like to see, I like the tertiary thing. I like the attention that is being paid in tertiary. I would love to see like a creative hub. Like when we did, like when DSTV came. Now you go offline, you see a tech space. Now most of them towns them, right? But the creative sector as a whole is a sector that is growing, that is booming, that is contributing to the economy of major, globally, right?
It is.
What I would like to see, if I would end on that, what I would like to see in this country is like Wahid say, let us have, whether it's government, whether it's ministries, create something, whether it's technology, creativity, bring something into the society, into government, into towns. I want to see creativity from schools, have creative hubs, put value on the things that we know will bring value, that will contribute to the economy. If you pay attention to technology and creativity, these things work and they work together.
Imagine the things we are struggling with at the moment. Light, water. Imagine you get government announced, private sector announced a huge competition for develop, a dam system that would recycle water.
And you have young people who would come up with these.
And imagine the amount of the volume of water we get in a salon. Driving up to the provinces, you'd see the amount of river the way they flow. You wonder why, as a nation, we for the struggle for pipe-borne water. Right through the year. So imagine you announce a competition like that, what would happen? Or you announce
even without even announcing. We have, like we said, we have a Ministry of Innovation. If the Ministry of Innovation just take a trip to FBC and take out all the dissertations submitted by the Mechanical Engineering Department, take all the dissertations submitted by the Civil Engineering Department, take all those dissertations and look through. You will see a lot of innovations, even in those dissertations, and bring them up. I want to see a website of FBC developed by the Computer Science Department. And why should I be training people in computer science, and training them about website development, and I have my website developed by someone else? It doesn't make sense. Why do I have a civil engineering department and I have potholes on the road within the school? Those are practical things. Where we ever look at, because those are the little things we can just look at and try for build up. I can always say something. Look at something as simple as metro. Metro or Zood Labs, if we have people that are training computer science, and I say, okay, fine, these are my best students at the end of the year, when are 20 of them, then I mandate Metro that you have to teach them all your skills that you're bringing into the country and those kind of things. At the end of the day, every year, I will get 20 people them were able to do infrastructure backbone and stuff like that and do the internet. Those are simple stuff.
That's possible. That is possible. Thank you. That's where government
puts policy.
Yes, to encourage private sector. Because look at me, providing, employment, like practical. Employment for 35 girls. But then, who said that the catch 22. You employ these people, before you say, if you sack person, you employ until they 6 months, you have for sack and the money where they cost you. If that person not perform, you understand? So
it's a huge liability.
Yes, it's a liability. So there are deterrents for we say simple like for make create that environment stay.
So I know most of them have been think say we could do 1 hour. I mean we're up to almost 2 hours and you're still enjoying it because you have a lot to contribute.
My daughter is waiting for me. She won't go to bed till I get home.
And a lot for say. But let's round up. Thank you very much, guys. I appreciate the fact that you showed up today. And this don't be very informative. And I'm sure a lot of young people will go for watch this video over and over again and extract some of the things they want to talk about innovation and entrepreneurship, how they all to connect. Like you say, I mean, nothing said the one to go without the other. Because if you know, like Wahid mentioned clearly, these are not a new idea them. I start to say not any idea where they can stop the world. You're just looking at what is existing and how for go around them or how for better waiting exist. What he mentioned about communication, he said we parents them, the family, long time ago, ancestors them they use plenty with them. Drum for communicate, then go right on wall. But now we're using WhatsApp. It's fast, it's reliable, you can send messages, videos, whatever it is you can share with the person. Even location you can share. Even location you can share. So the person believe and know say, I then at this actual right place, and you can able to find the person inside there by driving and using Google Map for access to the person. But let's round up, guys. As we end today, we don't mention innovation and entrepreneurship. We don't talk about how una they contribute and what una they do for ensure say, I mean, these things work. If you were asked now for give 3 top advice to a young entrepreneur that is looking at solving a problem like the environment we find himself, what think will be then top 3 advice then they from your list of maybe 10 lessons we don't learn from business we don't do? We get small time for that.
For me, it's keep an open mind, be resilient, and don't take no for an answer. So failure is not an option.
Wow. Thank you very much, Ami, for that.
I think for me, I would encourage them to ask. Waiting, I realize na salon, we know they ask for the things they wait for better we. I always say that to the young people that come around me. We ask, most of the times when we ask not to see the way the better way, there's help out there. There's a lot of people out there, we want for help, we're willing for help. So if you want to do something, especially if you know what you want to do, look for the people within that sector. Reach out, ask, and you would get the help. Be consistent. Not begin say today I want to do this, then tomorrow I want to do that. Know what you want to do and go after them. Be consistent on what you want to do. And if I can say the last thing, I think waiting somebody say earlier on is honesty. Be honest. It takes you a long way.
Be honest. Thank you, Aisatu, for that. Wahid?
Number one thing what I can always say, always be willing to learn the ropes and grow with someone. There are a lot of times what we don't see among the youths in the country is that people are not really willing to sit down and really learn the ropes and become, efficient in one thing. It is very important. You need to sit on, when you deal with somebody, learn from that person, serve, and be willing to just learn through and gain experience along the line. Then number 2 is also borders on honesty. Honesty is not about waiting you they do, where person did it. It is all about what you do with that person, even when you have the opportunity to take something and that person not did it and you still not take it.
And that's
that is something that is very important. Then number 3, ideas happen every day. No idea, no day, way too small. No idea, no day, way too big. We say a day right now, I can mention 10 ideas for you that you can always think about. Just think about no matter how since jelly has been sold the way it has been for the past 10 years.
Yeah.
Jelly na one commodity in the country where I've never seen scarce.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But nobody has ever thought about it that if I get that jelly, I talk to them guys then they, and I'm able to build trucks for them, like them Bomber ice cream trucks, and I go put them at specific location, PZ, by Connaught, and some areas where they get a lot of client traffic. And me own, I make sure say ice day. By some side, and when you buy jelly to me, you get 3 blocks of ice or you get 4 blocks of ice. For somebody with a worker, we don't sweat a lot, would always look for my jelly. Because it no say dandy, na cool one you get forget. So ideas happen everywhere. You can always think about things and innovate on that and build on it. No matter how small it is, there are things that you can always develop. So keep looking for those ideas and looking for solutions for them.
All right, Dr. Wahid, thank you very much. Sona?
Me on first thing will be nobody no owe you anything. It's just where you start your journey, just no say it's all on you. No one owes you anything. And we don't able to can say as an aspiring entrepreneur or as a startup, now you have to be all thing. All thing, now you do all thing, now you do markets, now you do sell, now you do product development, like it's all on you. Nobody no owe you for support you. You don't get more people who grumble, they're not being help me. That's not it. No one owes you. The second thing will be you get ready for build. That is important. It's not just about having the idea and how we can say boom, it don't happen. You get ready for putting the work. And the work means say research, asking people, just 10 a day you go do am, you go well. You go do am, you go well. But you get ready for build. Once you know say there is an opportunity and you get a solution. So if you miss at one time, you go back and say, how can I be innovative about it? What can I do differently? Just be ready for putting all the work there. And at the end of the day, the third one are that always know say it's okay for let you rest. Entrepreneurship not about going full circle. It's not about doing 24 hours. You get for take that 10 day for rest. Because at the end of the day, if you don't build your brand or you don't build a brand around you and you know day for career with that brand, they know they continue. Always take time off, rest important. How they can like for say, we know for say depression is real, but when it comes to entrepreneurship, as all man I go share mental health, very important. It has its downtime. So I'm on treating and I know me go say.
Wow, thank you very much to this amazing team. I mean, we get on AYV on Sunday today. Thank you very much. Like I say again, this is very informative, and I'm sure it will help a lot of people going forward within the role of innovation and entrepreneurship in growth and economic development. Now, it's important that such conversations are held now, because a lot of people are going to think, say, when you go to school, you get a degree, you come down, the first 3 you expect to get a job. It might not happen all the time. You get space for create your own. Yeah. There are people that are cut out for that. From school, and companies go identify them straight off, then get job immediately. Others, you have to look at what is available. Create. It might start small, like Sona say, they expect them for succeed right there and then. But by starting small, you making mistakes there along the line, you get setbacks. You're able to learn from them. Each setback could bring you fresh lessons. For able to start afresh and for able to get things done. Yeah. That's how AYV on Sunday would leave you for today. Like I say again, many thanks to Ami, Isa too, Dr. Wahid and Sona for joining us on AYV on Sunday this evening. Mina John Conte, this show will be repeated on Thursday at 10 p.m. Let's now go over to the primetime studio at 9 p.m. for that. Be ready to meet again some other time. I'm John Cotton saying, have a great and wonderful week. Bye-bye.